Hello?
Whoa, Eric, can you hear
Let me
me?
see if this works.
Do you see me though?
Let's see if this works here.
Okay, take it.
I see you.
Hey, what's going on, man?
Hey! I gotta turn this up some more. There we go.
I've got this new I'm testing. Can you hear me?
That's better. What you just did is better, yeah.
Really?
So much Survivor stuff going on here.
Yeah, man. I actually had this shirt pinned on my wall, but I said, you know what? Might as well just take it off.
Bring it down.
You know?
Cool. So I haven't seen that shirt yet, like in person. Like I really want to see one.
Yeah, man. Oh, wait, what? You don't have, so you're not the supplier.
No. So I just create them and I send them to Redbubble, and Redbubble just prints them. Did somebody gift it to you?
Yeah, Gabby gifted it to me.
Okay.
Yeah, so she bought like 3 of them and we took pictures at the reunion.
Yeah, because someone made a huge order, and I was like, someone likes those shirts. It was all at once. So yeah, that makes sense. It was Gabby.
Yeah, we had a group chat with the 5 of us, and Nick said he was gonna buy 1, Carl said he was gonna buy 1, and Gabby said she was gonna buy 3. So yeah, that's probably why you got them all at once.
Cool.
And then I have this buff on mainly because I got braids now, and they're already coming apart. So
Like holding it together. Yeah.
yeah.
Is that like Island Buff?
Yeah, this is Island Buff, man.
Okay.
Never washed.
Oh man. So mine I eventually auctioned mine off.
Uh-huh.
They had the funk. They had the funk so bad on them.
Oh yeah.
Like I couldn't.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping to do eventually. Would you do it on like eBay or?
Yeah, I think they went to Hearts of Reality or something like a couple of years ago.
Okay.
Yeah. They smelled so terrible. Like my wife was just like, "No, we're not doing this." It's been like 6 years. It's disgusting. I know you have some memories and shit about it, so.
Yeah, I think if anything, I'll keep the buff.
Yeah.
I like blue buff, man.
Yeah, I just noticed it's super faded. Like it's so.
Yeah, it's much bluer. It started off much bluer than that, which I'm sure you're aware of.
Yeah. I wanted to talk about social media stuff.
Perfect. I appreciate that, man. Because, all of these podcasts have been reaching out to me about, doing a review of the game, and I'm just really not in the mental space to talk about it right now.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm cool with talking about Survivor here and there, but an in-depth discussion, so give me till about February or March, and then I'll be ready to go into that. But right now, I just need a break from it,
It's like, I know there's like this battery of interviews you do after you're on Survivor, and it's like a marathon. It's just like, same question, and I'm like, I've answered this 40 flipping times. Like but Australia. Somebody from Australia needs to hear about it, or somebody from like Chicago Public Radio or whatever it is needs to hear about it. So if you're the winner, it's really bad too. I know the winner is like they can't talk and.
Yeah, I was just talking to Nick. He just had the key to the city today, and they just declared it Nick Wilson Day on Wednesday. So
that's amazing.
He's responding to a text I sent him earlier this morning, like an hour ago. So I'm like, oh man, you're smart.
That's amazing. I follow Wendell on Instagram.
Yeah.
And Wendell's like doing all kinds of really cool stuff too. Like every time I check his Instagram, it's like, he's in some kind of competition for like most notable citizen or like all this really cool stuff, which kind of leads into this whole talk that I wanted to ask you about with like social media. Like I see that reality TV has a lot of crossover with being an influencer, being in the public sphere, like having influence.
Yeah, I was reviewing some of the questions that you asked, and as far as inspirations go, of course, celebrities like Will Smith and he did even give positive influences, have been inspirations of mine. But you brought up Wendell, like, I see, the things that he's involved in, and I saw this before I went out to the island, speaking to the high schools and
Yeah.
speaking to elementary schools, about his experience, not even just about his experience on the show, but because he was on the show, that gave him that opportunity to go to these schools and do these different competitions. So yeah, absolutely, 100% reality TV and social media kind of can go hand in hand. Before I was a member of before I was a member of the reality TV family, I had already been, trying to be an inspiration to the youth and going to speaking to schools and things of that nature. But now it's simplified. It's so much more, and I feel like I have a duty now because social media and reality TV go hand in hand.
Right. So it's like you're saying, you're putting it kind of in this, like, it's a platform, like it gives you that extra boost.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think that's totally true. Like Twitter, I never would have spent as much time as I did on Twitter, had the Idol thing and the Survivor episode and all that happened. Like, yeah. What I'm interested in too is, especially with reality TV and like the concept of influencers, is authenticity. I think like authenticity and like who you are as a person it can't be faked. Like you can't fake when you're on video, like right now, like we're talking, you see us, like you see who we are. So I'm really concerned with, like, I feel like there are some people who just want to be an influencer and they're like, I'm going to fill a role that I think I need to fill, and that might not even be who they are. Like that's something that concerns me.
Exactly. Yeah, you can get caught up into that, and I see some of I don't want to say my cast members, but I see reality people getting caught in what they think they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
What they think they're supposed to be doing may not be who they are. Which, I mean, it doesn't speak to them. I guess it does speak to their unauthenticity, but at the same time, going through this journey of reality TV, and you see everyone who's done it before you, I don't blame them. I don't blame the ones that they may not even know that they're not authentic.
Right.
Because they think that this is what you're supposed to be doing. Like, I think I saw recently, like one big annoyance on Twitter is people are tweet jackers. You know what tweet jackers are, right?
No, absolutely not. I do not know. I'm on Twitter. I don't know this.
So a tweet jacker is someone who they steal a tweet that they steal a nifty tweet that gets a lot of retweets and they try to make it their own. It's kind of like plagiarism, but it's Twitter.
Okay.
Someone tells a funny joke on Twitter, and you're following that person, but your followers aren't following that person. So you copy and paste that person's tweet and post it to your Twitter, and then everyone's like, ha ha, you're so funny. No, you're not funny. You're not being authentic. You stole that joke.
Okay. So you say something clever on Twitter, and I say, oh, Davie said something clever, but I'm going to give it to my fans, and I just steal verbatim, just take it.
No quotations or anything.
Okay.
It's fun.
Huh. Interesting. Okay. I definitely don't want to, I definitely do not want to use this to, call anybody out about any reality shows or anything at all. Like, that's not what I'm concerned with is, this thing, this taste of fame in a way. It makes people do crazy things. It's like when I was, when my big mistake happened, I was only 21. And, I was not prepared for that. I was the coolest kid on campus when that happened. Everybody, I was still in college, and people were like, this kid's on Survivor, and he's dumb, but he's funny. We kind of like him. It's like a jolt of fame. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, man. I think I'm balancing it pretty well for what I've been handed right now.
Okay.
I guess part of me going on Survivor was to get more of the black audience watching, and I think that kind of speaks to the fact that the black audience doesn't really watch, and maybe that's why it's not overwhelming me, because I hang out in the black network.
Okay.
But outside, and that's in real life, but on social media, I'm getting the messages all the time, and I feel like I'm doing a pretty good job of balancing it right now.
It is frustrating every season. Like it's like, you know, you look at the cast and it looks the same every season. It is really frustrating. I think the only season it wasn't was like Cook Islands.
Yeah.
And they got a lot of flack for that even.
Yeah.
Like they got a bunch of crap. So
yeah, I love that. And you know, I wrote have you heard of the social network Medium yet?
I've heard of Medium, yes. Yeah.
Okay, so a friend of mine who's very tech savvy, he told me about Medium, and he told me that I should write a Medium just to see if I could get some traction from it. Basically, for those who don't know, Medium is like I want to say a blog site. So I wrote a small blog about, I entitled it Pack Your Bags. And it was kind of just my experience of, you know, as a young child, watching reality TV to this point of getting selected to be on reality TV.
Okay.
And, you know, I spoke about, you know, watching reality TV at a young age and like what we just said, the cast always looking the same.
Right. Right.
And that was one of my driving points in wanting to apply so that I could change that, which I think they did a pretty good job this season as far as diversity is concerned. But I know in other seasons they have not done a great job.
No, and we can, and that's kind of what drew me in a lot of ways to reality TV is like, you know, I don't want to hear my point of view. I want to hear from somebody else. Like that's what I want. And that's kind of like what I see in social media, like in social media marketing, because there's people who go out there and they kind of play a role to get a fan base or try to go into a niche. And it's like, it's all about authenticity. Like if you naturally are whatever it is that you embody, like you're going to do fine.
Exactly.
You'll find your way.
For my friends, you know, I don't say my party animal, but my Instagram is pretty lively, and I'll get a lot of messages from them, and you know them saying how exciting it is, and they wish they could do that. And I'm like, no, dude, just be yourself.
Just do it.
Yeah, if you try to recreate something that I'm doing, and you're not being authentic, and you're not going to get a great response from it, people are going to call you fake. So yeah, 100%. I see where you're coming from with that authenticity. So the show, you know how CBS is. I gave them a certain job title, and they changed my job title to say what they thought.
Okay. Okay.
So they gave me the title social media manager, and in a sense, I guess that's what I was. I was working for the Center for Disease Control here in Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, so I was a health communications specialist.
Okay.
Is what I put on the paper.
Okay.
And basically what a health communications specialist does is, you know, we operate the social media channels. We're posting tweets every day about disease control, posting Facebooks about disease control. And so we basically, primarily, we run the social media campaigns. Of course, there was a lot more that I was doing. I was actually working in the global health division.
Okay.
And our focus was the eradication of polio.
Oh.
And a little quick funny story, when I left the CDC, I told all of my friends I was going to Syria to work on the eradication of polio, so that lie kind of checked out.
Okay.
Until Donald Trump bombs Syria, and then my parents are getting phone calls.
It didn't really work, yeah. It sucks when, like, socio-political events ruin your lives.
You know?
That sucks. That's great. So my wife is actually going into public health. She's like, she's studying public health now, yeah. So kind of interesting, kind of a weird, like, small world. So, like, the CDC, like, why do they need social media? Like, that's kind of, like, one of my core questions is, like, why do we need social media? Like, why would a company, or even, like, a small business, like a mom-and-pop shop, like, why would they need social media?
Exactly, and that's what's taking the world by storm, because businesses, they're realizing that you can reach a larger audience now if you have a network online. Mm-hmm. When I came onto the CDC, under my mentor, he told me this story about how they just were not having it. They're like, what is this Twitter and this Facebook stuff?
Yeah.
And once they gave it a shot and gave it a try and saw how many hits they were getting when they were able to look at their analytics, they're able to see what the demographics are for the people who are interested in these topics. They're able to actually do research on the type of, like certain diseases, like heart disease, what demographic is paying attention to the information that we're giving. Is this a disease that's targeted to their demographic? You're able to, divide all of that and look at it. And social media is something that allows you to do that. So yeah, businesses are learning now that they can market on their social media channels. They can sell things on their social media channels. Advertisement is the number one thing for businesses on their social media channels. With that traction, getting an audience to come to their stores. I think there's one that sticks out of my mind right now. There's this vegan sandwich that's hit Atlanta. And it's just taken over social media because everyone's posting it. Everyone's just posting them eating this vegan sandwich. And I tried to go yesterday, and the line may have been wrapped around the building at least 4 times. And that's just social media promotion. Like, I don't hear anything on the radio. I watch TV a lot. I don't see anything on TV. It's just coming from Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. So yeah, social media is the future. And if you, at this point, if you have a business and it doesn't have a social media channel, you're doing something wrong.
Okay.
I don't want to call myself a social media addict, but I'm pretty well versed in social media, and I have like 4 or 5 Instagram channels.
Okay.
I have a side hustle, it's millennials, and I breed Siberian Huskies.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, Rufio, he's over here asleep like your dog.
Yeah, back
there.
Yeah.
And so when I first started breeding Siberian Huskies, the first thing I said is like, oh my gosh, I've got to get a social media page. So I created my dog a page, and I kind of just made it seem like it was a page for my dog, posting pictures of him. Okay. But I put in a bio, Atlanta native, interested in breeding Siberian Huskies. If interested, give me a DM. And I'd say within the course of maybe 1 to 5 months, Rufio may have impregnated 3 female dogs because of
That's amazing.
Those messages on social media. So it's just amazing. Like any area, you would never think dog breeding is an area that you use social media in, but even dog breeding is one that you can excel in with.
Weird. And that, so this whole series, like, there's all these little niches that I'm trying to, like, figure out about. And, like, this is, like, the glue between everything else. Like, there's all these little niches out there in the internet. And, like, the internet just, like, I'm going to connect them all. Like, if you like Siberian Huskies, you can find them. Like, you're going to find Davie. So.
Hashtags. Those hashtags are amazing, dude.
Yeah.
When I figured out what they were, maybe I was in about 9th grade. I'm like, wait, people are I can tackle something that I like, and other people like it too, like Pokemon, like
it's like magic.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, what? Mind blown. And now it's so normal that it's like, wow, it's just a way of life. So I mean, of course, social media has its downsides, but that's 100% an upside to social media.
Yeah. As obscure as you want to get, there's a hashtag. Like, it's there.
Yes.
Like, I'm typing stuff in, and it's giving me hashtags, and I'm, like, discovering new things. Like, there's, like, new, like, it's almost like a fractal, like, nested hash. It's crazy. It's crazy. In terms of managing it, like, managing content, I mean, so I know CBS kind of, like, placed that title on you.
Yeah.
What is a social media manager? Like, are you just managing content? Are you managing brand? Are you managing,
Yeah.
That's it?
No, it's 100% that.
Okay.
Managing the content and managing the brand. I believe that was actually one of the questions that I had throughout my interview process for the CDC was how am I with branding? And I didn't really understand the question at that point, but once I, began working for the CDC, I understood wholeheartedly what they meant. Like, especially being in a government position, branding is so important because if you go astray from that in the government, then
there's
not a good
problems.
thing.
There's problems.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, branding and just the information that the company has, that's 100% what social media marketing is or managing is.
It's interesting to me too about how, like, the idea of voice. So like some companies will say things that, another company never would. Like I'm trying to think of this airline. It's Spirit. So Spirit has this email campaign, I know, and Twitter campaign where it's real casual. It's like you're talking to your friend. And it's like that's their voice. Like someone has chosen that is their voice. And it changes my opinion of that whole brand because now I think of like Spirit as like they're this guy that just like hooks you up with flights.
Right.
Like
with cheap deals.
Yeah. It's so crazy to me how that works because I know there's other brands that do this as well. I think there's Sue the T-Rex. So there's a T-Rex skeleton, I think in Chicago. Mm-hmm. And it's called Sue. Her name is Sue or Susan the T-Rex.
It's at the Field Museum.
Where is it?
Field Museum in Chicago.
It's at the Field Museum in Chicago because Dana follows it.
Okay.
And it's Sue the T-Rex, and it's like the coolest account. Like they say the coolest stuff, and it's like a T-Rex. And it's like that's their voice. Like they've chosen with voice, and they've like nailed it. Like every tweet is hilarious, and it's about science at the same time.
Yeah. Like some things work for you. Like if that was the Wall Street Journal, that wouldn't work for them.
Right.
It's just not the audience that they're looking for, and it just wouldn't work. But that 100%, you gotta have someone who knows, and that's another reason why I was brought on with the CDC because they wanted to start gearing towards a younger audience, and in my division they had 0 millennials.
Okay.
So they were like, we've got to get somebody in here who knows the language for the younger audience, someone who knows the jargon. And that's probably one of my most prized things that I did there was bridging the gap between the younger audience and the older audience. To where I was able to push things to different networks like WhatsApp and GroupMe that they didn't know about.
Yeah.
And of course, they knew about Twitter and Facebook, but they didn't know exactly what they could do with Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. So 100% your voice is everything, and how you present that will be a making or a breaking of the experience that you have. Yeah,
because I could see certain brands, they say something and they want to be cool and it flops. Like it's like
that goes back to the authenticity.
Yeah. Or it's like it's like this ancient guy like fist bump me, and it's like, dude, you're whatever business that's ancient, like you're like Midas or like Hertz rental car or something. It's like, I'm not going to fist bump you.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, no. So, but like, I really enjoyed watching you on the show. It's also really cool that it sounds like you are gearing up for some stuff, like getting microphones and stuff.
Yeah, man. I'm hoping, to launch some type of YouTube channel. I've been experimenting with my lives on Instagram just to see if I get a good response from it, and I've been getting a good response. Cool. So we'll see. I'm a bit of a gamer, so maybe even getting a Twitch account is something that I'm thinking about. So we're seeing where it goes.
So I just started YouTube. Like this is, I think, like the 4th or 5th interview I've done, and I was looking at who is hot on YouTube, gaming. Everything gaming is like blowing up. So I'm not a gamer, so I can't pretend. I'm not going to pretend to be a gamer. I would suck. Like I don't know anything about Fortnite. But, if you're going that route, like more power to you. Like that's really cool. That's exciting.
Appreciate you, man.
That's cool.
Hey, man. Well, thank you again for having me. And if you pull me in again to talk about something else, you got my personal email, so just let me know.
Okay.
Talk to you later.
All right. Bye, Davie.